Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, we continue with our salute to school and the start of the school year. And we're going to go a little farther in the school year to October 16th, 1952, an episode of Father Knows Best. And it seems that Bud has decided to quit school. Why? It's a girl.
Mother, are Post 40% bran flakes really the best tasting cereal of them all?
Well, your father says so, and Father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as Father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by America's largest-selling bran flakes, Post 40% bran flakes, and by Instant Postum, the good-tasting drink that's entirely caffeine-free. You know Kathy Anderson. She's the little girl that lives in the white frame house on Maple Street in Springfield. Did you ever notice her ears? Probably not. Well, she has two of them, and they're small, just like most little girls' ears. The puzzling thing about those little ears is how they can hear so much from so many in so little time. And right now, those little pink funnels have gathered in so much news that it's about to spill over. Like this.
Margaret, I'm home. Where's the family?
Oh, hello, dear.
Oh, hello, honey.
Betty's upstairs. Bud isn't home yet, and Kathy's around somewhere. I don't know exactly.
Daddy!
Never mind, I found her. Well, kitten, what are you bubbling over for?
You don't know yet, do you? You don't know about Bud.
Know about Bud? Well, he eats and sleeps. What else is there to know about Bud?
Bud quit school.
Oh, well, he's always doing stuff. Quit school.
Calm, Margaret, calm.
It's all because of a girl.
Because of a girl?
Millie Ferris. He's in love with her. He asked her to a movie, and the teacher found out about it. Everybody's talking.
Have the papers heard about this?
But, Jim...
Margaret, I want first-hand information before I get all worked up over it.
I can tell you all about it, Daddy.
Oh, I'm sure you can. But I want the truth. Margaret, please send Bud into the den when he comes in.
It's probably Bud now, coming in the back way. We might as well have it out right here.
Now, let's just take it easy. We'll see what he says when he gets in here. Quiet now. Don't say anything.
Hi.
He's going up to his room.
Bud Anderson, you come back here.
What? What's the matter? Can I go up to my room? Well, what are you staring at?
Bud, we've just heard a little distressing news. Report has it that...
Hello, people. What's all the fuss? Betty, your brother has decided to quit school, and he refuses to give us any reason.
Refused? Holy cow.
Let's give the boy a chance, Margaret, please.
I can give you a good reason. He's just too dumb to go any farther.
Who, me?
Mother, I've been looking over my room, and I'd like to talk to you about something.
Later, Princess. Now, Bud, you might as well get it off your chest.
Mother, Kathy's got about 50 dolls in our room. I haven't got room to breathe.
Betty, later. All right, Bud?
Okay, so I quit. It was on account of that Millie.
Millie Ferris?
Yeah, she sits between me and Don Curry.
So?
Well, I wrote a note to Don asking him if he could go to the movies with me tonight. And the teacher saw me handing the note to Millie so she could hand it to Don.
And the teacher thought you'd written the note to Millie.
Yeah, I forgot to put Don's name on it. So the teacher took the note and read it to the class. Big laugh.
Didn't you explain you meant the note for Don?
Sure.
What happened then?
Big laugh.
Well, the whole thing is very silly.
Well, it's not silly at all.
At noontime, did I get it? All the guys were kidding me, saying I'm in love with Millie, saying I'm a sweetie pie.
Well, that's not good. Not good at all.
I didn't go back this afternoon. I'm never going back.
Now, Bud, you can't give up your whole education because of a little embarrassment. How do you think Millie feels about it?
She thinks it's great.
Why don't you marry the girl if you're so crazy about her?
Oh, who asked you anything?
Well, dear, what are you going to do?
Well, it's obvious Bud can't make any headway at school. That girl chasing him, you know how shy he is.
Yes, I know.
So, if you don't go to school, what do? You go to work. We'll have to find Bud a job.
Hey, Dad, you really mean that?
Jim Anderson.
I mean it.
Oh, boy. I'm going in the den and call some of the fellas. Yahoo! No more school.
Jim, I don't understand you.
I'll explain, honey. The girls, you run along. I want to talk to your mother alone.
Well, I'm sure Bud's ignorance doesn't concern me in the least. I'd like to talk to you later, Mother.
And you run along too, kitten.
Gee, Daddy, I don't know where to go.
Oh, well, let's see. Well, you see this closet right here, the one with the thin door that sound carries through so well?
Yes, sure.
Well, don't go in there. You go upstairs to your room and close the door.
Ah, heck. I never have any fun.
Now, Margaret, just let me talk. If I forced Bud back to school right away, it might break the poor kid. Everybody laughing at him?
It was all a mistake.
Who knows it?
Well, the Ferris girl knows it.
And she won't tell. She's got herself a boyfriend.
And we've got a boy who won't go back to school.
Margaret, it's as simple as this. I'm going to give Bud a job. Working for us, the Andersons.
What?
Wait until you hear the work I've outlined for him. He'll be so sick of work by Monday morning that he'll be glad to go back to school, even if he has to sit on Millie's lap. Simple, won't you admit?
Yes. Oh, you and your plans.
Now, honey, just leave everything to me.
Dad, hey, Dad, you know what?
Your father knows everything.
Dad, if I start to work now, by next June, I ought to get 2 weeks vacation with pay.
See, Margaret, a forward-looking businessman.
Pardon me while I finish getting dinner.
I'd kind of like to pack into the woods by mule. Would you like to go?
Bud, as one mule to another, let's get you a job first. Here, I brought in the paper. Now, let's take a look at the want ad. Sit down. Let's see. Selling. Now, this sounds good. If you can't make $500 a week, we don't want you.
What does that mean?
That means they don't want you. Let's see. Maybe something in the industrial line. Well, here's a big paying job. Say, this might be it. Equipment analyst. Able to analyze requirements, prepare cost estimates, select and purchase machines, and process markups for jig assembly. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad.
What?
Must have car. That lets you out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wanted, young man, strong, ambitious, wide awake. And let's see what else there is in here. Bud, I've got an idea.
What?
How would you like to make $2 a day and room and board?
$2 a day and room and board? Holy cow, where could I get a job like that?
Right here. General handyman for the Anderson household. Only until you get something better, of course.
Oh, but gee, Dad, what's there to do around here?
Plenty. The house needs a lot of repairs. The driveway's in bad shape. There's a lot of digging to do. I'm sure your mother will find plenty of things. Oh, you'll be busy, all right. What do you say?
When do I start?
Well, today is Thursday. How about tomorrow morning? That'll give you Friday and Saturday this week, $4.
Why can't I start tonight?
Now, don't get over anxious, Bud. You'll have to get up about 6 in the morning, you know, in order to get ready to start at 8.
Gee, I'm going to call Joe Phillips and tell him about it. I think I'll start tonight, though, if I can.
Daddy?
Kathy, what are you doing here?
Is Bud really going to work for us?
Kathy, you've been eavesdropping, haven't you?
No, I was listening by the window.
Oh.
I got a job already, Joe. Working for my dad.
Is he going to be a hired man for the whole family, Daddy?
We'll see, Kathy. We'll see.
$2 a day and board and room.
Father.
Just a minute, Princess.
Oh, I don't know, Joe. I wouldn't want to ask him. Why don't you call him later and ask him? Yeah, he's in a good mood. Okay, Joe. Goodbye. Okay, Dad, I'm ready to start. What do you want me to do first?
I'm working on it.
Father, if Bud isn't exactly a member of the household, shouldn't we rearrange the living quarters upstairs?
Don't bother me with that now, Betty. I'm trying to lay out a work schedule. Yeah, let's see. Tomorrow, attic and storing records.
Daddy, could I have him work for me a little while Saturday afternoon?
Kathy, go play with your dolls.
That's another thing. There are at least 50 old dolls cluttering up our room.
Will you please go away?
Jim, children, dinner's nearly ready.
Hey, Mom, I'm working.
I'm sure I don't share your enthusiasm. And you'd better get ready for dinner.
Dad, why couldn't I work from 6:30 to 10:30 tonight? There's another dollar right there.
I haven't got anything for you to do tonight, Bud.
Mom, you got any odd jobs that I could do?
It would look very odd to see you doing any job.
Betty.
Maybe I could clean out the refrigerator.
You cleaned that out last night, but good.
Quiet, kids. I'm trying to think.
Wasn't even a piece of celery left.
Children.
Now listen, Bud. Here's tomorrow's work program for you.
Okay.
I want you to dig a 4-inch pit around the incinerator, about 10 feet in diameter. I want to put brick in there a little later.
Yeah? Then what?
Well, that's quite a job. But after that, well, there must be about 5 cubic feet of ashes in that pile out there. Spread those ashes thinly over that big bare space by the fence. Got that?
Yep. Then what?
Oh, well, if you get through that, stack all that broken lumber back of the tool house, right?
Right.
Okay.
But what do you want me to do in the afternoon?
In the afternoon?
Plan's working out nicely, isn't it, Jim?
It hasn't begun yet. But you mean you think you can do all that in the morning?
Sure, that's a sin.
Okay. Well, there must be 100 bundles of magazines in the attic. Lug those out by the garage. I'm going to send them to the paper drive.
I already did that one evening last week.
You did?
They're around on the side.
Well, then lug them back up to the attic again.
But, Dad, if the magazines are downstairs...
Hello? Just a minute. It's for you, Daddy.
Oh, all right. Hello? Oh, hello, Joe. What? Well, Joe, I'm sorry, but I'm full up right now. No, don't call me. I'll call you. Goodbye. What in the world goes on here?
Who was it?
Joe Phillips. He heard I'm hiring men. He wants me to give him a job. He's figuring on quitting school, too.
How is Father going to solve this family problem? With a payday in sight, Bud has turned into a real ball of fire, brimming over with vim and energy. And no two ways about it, that's a mighty fine way for anyone to feel.
Yes, life is swell when you feel well. And that's one good reason why so many folks rely on the important keep regular benefits of bran. Only in the past, this cereal may not have been all you asked for as far as flavor was concerned. But that's been changed. Now you can enjoy all the benefits of bran in a cereal that's right up there in flavor. For something wonderful has happened to bran. Yes, new Post 40% bran flakes have a completely new and delicious flavor called Magic Oven Flavor. They have a new crisp texture, too. And it's these two advantages, marvelous flavor and texture, that makes so many folks say new Post bran flakes are one of the best tasting cereals ever. So serve new Post bran flakes in your home and know that your family will get their ounce of prevention, their keep regular benefits, in a cereal they'll truly enjoy eating. Well, that's the whole simple story, which I hope will persuade you that Post 40% bran flakes is the cereal you want to serve regularly.
For goodness sakes.
Eat Post Bran Flakes. So good and so good for you.
Be sure to buy new Post 40% Bran Flakes, America's largest selling Bran Flakes, when you shop this weekend. They're good, and so good for you.
If you ever need a good handyman, there's a young fellow lives on Maple Street in Springfield who's a real worker. You might be able to get him pretty soon, too. The man he's working for now, a Mr. Jim Anderson, is having a hard time keeping the young fellow supplied with enough to do. He's that efficient. Well, he's been working there a day and a half. It's almost noon on Saturday now, and Jim Anderson is in the kitchen talking to Margaret. It's a kind of worried talk, like this.
Honey, there must be something you can have Bud do until I can think of something.
You and your plan.
Well, it has to work out. Have you had him wash the windows yet?
Twice.
Oh, no. I can't understand the boy's energy. He acts like a maniac. Will you get that, Margaret? If it's another kid asking about a job, I'm not hiring today.
Hello? Just a minute. It's for you, Jim.
It's not a boy.
No.
Hello? Yes, Mrs. Pembroke. What other boys do is no concern of mine. I don't see how I've established any precedent whatsoever. I assure you that my boy will be back in school Monday morning on schedule. Now, what your boy does is strictly up to you and him. Goodbye. I've got to get him back to school Monday. Mrs. Pembroke's boy wants to quit school now. That makes about the 5th. And everybody blames it on me.
I didn't know Bud was so popular. It seems your son is a leader of men.
Well, he's certainly not a follower of women.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'll go wash up for lunch.
Oh, Bud, don't you think it would be a good idea to maybe take Saturday afternoons off?
And lose $1? Heck no. Well, what do you want me to do this afternoon?
I'll let you know at lunch.
Okay.
Want me to do anything about lunch, Mother?
No, thanks, dear. It'll be ready in a minute. Sit down and console your father.
Have you made up your mind about Bud's room yet?
Betty, I can't ask Bud to give up his room. I promised him room and board. Where would he sleep?
He could put a cot in that little room over the garage.
It's nice and secluded and quiet.
That's an idea. I think I'll move in there myself.
Oh, Father, don't be so utterly slapstick. That room of Kathy's and mine is so crammed with doll buggies and dolls and doll houses, it's like living in a toy shop.
Betty, I've told you that Kathy and Patty Davis are having their doll show and parade this afternoon. All those things will be out of your room by tonight.
So next week it'll be something else. She'll probably have a hamster farm in there.
Jim, if you should insist that Bud move to the room over the garage, the discomfort might cause him to dislike his job.
Oh, I'd hate to do it. It would be a real blow to the boy. Giving up his room for a cubby hole in the garage.
It's for his own good. It might solve your problem.
All right. But let me handle it. Betty, you casually mention it at lunch, and I'll take over from there. I'll do it gently. I don't want to hurt him.
Good. Now, Kathy can have Bud's room, and at last...
Who can have whose room?
We'll discuss that later, kitten.
Okay.
Have you heard the latest news?
I hope so.
Millie Ferris claims she's going steady with Bud.
What?
She thinks Bud really sent that note to her.
Why, she couldn't have.
Dear, you know how girls that age are. She probably wants the other girls to think she has a boyfriend. She'll grab at any excuse.
Well, Bud is a mighty poor excuse for a boyfriend.
Oh, yeah? Well, your old Ralph isn't so great either.
Oh, turn green.
Oh, turn purple.
Oh, cut it out.
The poor girl has taken advantage of a situation, and she's glamorizing it. She called here twice yesterday, you know. Wanted Bud.
Oh, fine.
Well, all that concerns me now, Father, is to get the room situation straightened out. I'll be the happiest girl in the world.
All right, just leave things to me.
By the way, have you any work lined up for Bud this afternoon?
I'm thinking.
Daddy, can I use Bud this afternoon?
Kathy, there's no kind of work you could give him that he couldn't do with his little finger. I've got to make it tough on him.
But I sure could use him.
I think he's coming downstairs. Now, don't mention Millie. And, Betty, bring that idea of Bud sleeping out over the garage in very casually.
Hi, lunch ready?
Sit down, Bud.
Mind if I eat fast? I want to work most of the lunch hour so I can knock off a little early.
Bud, take it easy. Don't you ever get tired?
Oh, a little, but when I think of that $2 a day rolling in day after day, boy. Pass me the sausage.
Bud, please.
What's for this afternoon, Dad?
Just take it easy, Bud.
But what is it?
Well, as a matter of fact, Kathy had an idea.
Kathy?
Father, there's something I wanted to bring up. Casually, of course.
Oh, yes.
Ralph and I were discussing family environment yesterday.
Bread, please.
Ralph is of the opinion that it's not good for a family to live in the same house with a hired man.
Jam.
He thinks the hired man should be kept outside the house.
Peanut butter.
Bud, did you hear what I said?
Yeah, sure. What's Ralph got to do with it?
Well, it just happens that Ralph is my current fiancé.
What's a current fiancé?
The alternating current, kitten. He alternates with that Rogers boy.
Oh, Father, don't be so TV comic.
Betty, I think you may as well forget it.
I will not forget it. It'll help you, too, you know.
Not now, Betty.
Hey, Dad, I got an idea.
I thought I had one, too.
Why not let Kathy have my room and me move into that little room over the garage?
What? What did you say?
Well, I figure this way. I figure that room of mine is worth about $10 a week rent, right?
Oh, I suppose so.
But that little room over the garage is worth only about $2. So I'd rather live there, and you could give me the extra $8 a week.
But
I'm sure Father will be very happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everything seems to be working out just fine. But I wish you a long and prosperous career as a hired man.
Now, wait a minute.
I think I'll call Joe and tell him I got a raise.
Just a minute, Bud. Why don't you reconsider this whole thing? A boy's place is in school.
Father, I'm not going to lose that room now. And I'm sure Bud wouldn't want to give up $8 a week.
Now, Betty, you stay out of this.
I guess I better not call Joe. I better get to work. Well, what do you want me to do, Dad?
Well, Bud, I ordered 3 truckloads of bricks. I was going to have you rip up the driveway and put in a new one this afternoon.
Yeah.
But the bricks haven't arrived. Kathy had something she wanted you to do.
The shrimp? I don't want to work for her.
Well, I can't say I blame you.
Dear, I don't like to butt in, but after all, Bud is working for the family, you know.
Oh, yes. That was the agreement, wasn't it?
Holy cow, I quit school to get away from a girl. Now you want me to work for one.
Well, Bud, it isn't much to do. Patty Davis and I are having our doll show today.
What's that got to do with me?
First, we've got to carry all our dolls over to Patty's house.
Oh, not me.
The other girls will be there. Then we start the parade.
Bud'll fit in fine in a doll parade.
Betty?
Then we parade down Olive Street to Maple, up Maple to Willow, over Grand, then back to Patty's house, where we have the show. And all you have to do is carry the extra dolls.
Oh, no.
Bud, dear, no matter what kind of work you do, there's always something unpleasant about it.
That's right, son. You see, I promised that you'd work for the family, not just me. I can't break my promise.
Of course, you could quit your job.
Holy cow. I gotta think this over.
It would be a shame to lose all that money you're making.
Betty.
What would you and Millie do for spending money, now that you're going steady?
Betty Anderson.
She called you 3 times yesterday, and she's told everybody that you're her steady.
She did not.
All right, ask Kathy.
Well, that's what Millie told everybody yesterday.
Okay, come on, Shrimp. Let's get the parade started.
Oh, boy. First, come out in the front yard a minute. I've got something I want.
Well, Betty, you certainly fixed up things just fine.
I think you'd better go to your room.
Well, at least I have a room. That's more than I could say before.
Well, Betty won, I lost.
Now you'll have to force Bud back to school.
I suppose. Well, Bud, why are you heading for the basement?
Millie Ferris, she's coming up the walk.
Look, Jim, out the window. She's giving Kathy a note.
So that's Millie. Oh, nice-looking youngster.
Why, she's going away again.
Oh, here comes Kathy. I wonder what in the world...
It's for Millie. It's a note for Bud. Shall I take it to him?
I'll take it. Here.
Jim, don't read it.
It's a cinch Bud won't. I'll have to read it to him. Well. Bud, come up out of the basement.
No.
Good news, Bud. Come on up.
Bud?
I'm never coming up.
Millie's gone.
Like fun.
If you don't come up, I'm going to fire you.
Fire away.
All right. I hereby give you a week's notice together with a week's pay. $12.
Honest? $12?
That's right.
Boy, I can get out of town on that.
You can go back to school with no worries. Listen to this note from Millie. Dear Bud, my mother made me tell both our teacher and Don Curry that note was really for him. Teacher is going to explain to the kids Monday morning. Don can't go to the movies with you because I'm going with him. So I guess you and I will have to break up.
Break up?
But let you and I still be good friends. Yours truly, Millie Ferris.
Gee, Dad, I sure feel better, but kind of sad, too.
What have you got to feel sad about?
Oh, it's not me I'm sad about. It's poor old Don.
Well, everything's fine. Margaret, I told you my plan would work. Knew it all the time. Margaret. What are you smiling at?
Nothing. I'm just smiling.
Now, before our final surprise of the show, we've asked our friend Margaret Anderson back to give us a good household hint or two.
Well, as you can plainly see, just about everything happens to the Andersons. Well, not everything, really. Things could be lots worse. For instance, Jim could be a real grouch, mean and nasty like some of the husbands I know of. Husbands who have a good case of coffee nerves. Of course, that could never happen now that Jim's been drinking Postum, because there's no caffeine in Postum to give him coffee nerves. Actually, we Andersons all drink Postum. We like it. And I like the money Postum saves me. Would you believe it, but Postum costs less than 1/3 of what coffee costs. See why I like Postum? Well, why don't you try it on your family, too? It's instant. Instant Postum.
Well, it's Monday evening. Bud's been to school, he's been cleared, and he's $12 richer. Betty's a little disappointed, but she'll get over it. And Jim? Well, he's pretty well satisfied with himself. Like this.
You see, Margaret, if you just give things a little thought, they work out fine.
Oh, you did a splendid job, dear. I just don't know how you do it.
Well, the whole thing is closed now. Probably never hear another word from it.
Probably not. I'll get it. Hello? Yes? Well, I don't know, but I can ask him. Just a minute. Jim, it's Don Curry on the phone. Millie's new boyfriend?
Oh, what does he want?
He's quit school. He wants to know if you could give him Bud's old job.
The right to vote for the candidate of your choice is one of the most precious rights of our democracy. But too many of us forget that it is also a duty. Remember, your vote is your guarantee of freedom. Be sure you vote on November 4th. Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson. Until then, good night and good luck from the makers of Post 40% Bran Flakes, America's largest selling Bran Flakes, and Instant Postum, the drink that's entirely caffeine-free. In our cast were Helen Strom as Kathy, Gene Vanderpyle, Rhoda Williams, and Ted Donaldson.
It comes in a red, white, and blue box. What is it?
Hot Post Wheatmeal.
It has the picture of Roy Rogers on the package. What is it?
Hot Post Post wheat meal.
It's packed full of whole wheat nourishment. What is it?
Hot Post wheat meal.
It has a rich, delicious, nut-like flavor. What is it?
Hot Post wheat meal.
Cooks in just 3 minutes. Another member of the famous Post family. What is it?
Hot Post wheat meal.
It's the best hot cereal you ever ate.
Hot Post wheat meal.
Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Paul West and Carl Hertzing. This is Bill Foreman speaking.
All ends well that ends well, I guess. That's Father Knows Best. October 16th, 1952. When classic radio theater continues, an acting school principal that I don't even know ever graduated. We'll hear from Fibber McGee and Molly in just a moment. On MyPillow's 20th year anniversary, over 80 million MyPillows sold, and Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillows, regular price $69.98, now only $19.98, $10 more for king-size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98, or call 800-928-4715. Use promo code Wyatt. Also, deep discounts on all MyPillow products, the bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, my slippers, and more. MyPillow.com, promo code Wyatt, or call 1-800-928-4715, 1-800-928-4715. I know we did a whole bunch of Fibber McGee and Molly shows recently, but let's take this one from September 6, 1937, as Fibber is now going to be the acting school principal. Let's listen.
The Johnson Wax Program. Presenting Marion and Jim Jordan as Fibber McGee and Molly. Ted Weems and his orchestra open the show with Hallelujah. Things look rosy now. Here is the simplest way to keep your floors and linoleum sparkling and clean. Use Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. Let this remarkable liquid polish seal your floors against dirt and germs. Protect the surface from wear. Keep the colors beautiful and bright. Listen to the easy directions for using Glow Coat. Just apply and let dry. The drying time, 20 minutes. What a saving in time and energy to have your floors shine without rubbing or buffing. And what a relief to be able to do away with floor scrubbing. Buy Johnson's Glow Coat from your dealer tomorrow. Look for the lettering on the attractive yellow can, GLO-COAT, Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. Well, school opens today in Wistful Vista. And as a conscientious citizen with advanced ideas on education, Fibber has appointed himself a committee of one to check over the curriculum. Molly thinks it's a silly idea, but nobody has ever stopped to reform her. So here, entering public school number 14, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
McGee, don't you think the principal and teachers and everybody will have enough worries today without you butting in on them?
What do you mean, butting in? I got a few ideas about education that they ought to have.
Ideas on education?
You betcha.
Did you ever pass the 5th grade?
Going which way?
No, really, now, just how far did you get in school?
Well, I got through the 8th, and I seen they wasn't going fast enough for me, so I got an outside teacher named Tutter. Tutter was a fine tutor. She had been an embroidery instructor, but Tutter got tired of Tutter and Tatton and took up... Wait a minute, here's the principal's office. Hi, Bud. You the principal of this school?
Yes, I am. Why are you children not in your classroom?
What?
Did your teacher send you to me?
But we're not pupils, sir.
Oh, you wish to enroll. Well, then you must go home and come back with your mother, father, or some other guardian.
That batted Bud, I'm Fibber McGee.
Oh, yes. Rather a large boy of your age, I see. Is this your sister with you?
No, I'm not his sister. I'm his wife.
Yeah, his wife. Well, I must say I frown on these schoolboy marriages. I don't know what the world is coming to.
Listen, Bud, what's the matter with you? I ain't no school kid. I'm Fibber McGee, a citizen and a taxpayer, and this is my wife.
How do you do, I'm sure?
Yeah, well, excuse me. I'm a trifle nearsighted, you know.
Oh, well, I want to look over the school and make a few suggestions.
Oh, yes. I suspected as much when you said you were a taxpayer. Whenever a man says he's a taxpayer, we know he's about due to make some suggestions.
Now, be that as it may or may not was, Bud, I got a few ideas about parent-teachers organization. What was your name again?
Guffey. K. Elmer Guffey.
Oh.
I'm a distant relative of the Guffey who wrote the famous Guffey Third Reader.
Oh. Well, go on, dearie, and tell Mr. Goofy just what you have in mind.
Guffey, madam. Guffey.
Well, Elmer, my boy.
What? Did you ever actually teach school, Mr. McGee?
Did I ever teach school? Why, back in Columbus, Ohio, Guff, in my younger days, I was the #1 educator. Curriculum McGee, I was known as in them days.
Oh, my.
Curriculum McGee, the clever, conscientious contriver of classroom courses, carefully correlating cooking, carpentry, calculus, criminology, and commerce, and casually completing a colossal collection of curious classics on courtship from Cleopatra to King Carol.
You must have had the chair of applied sciences.
No. He had the seat of applied hairbrushes.
I had degrees from every university in America and Europe, Guff. An AM from Yale, a BS from Princeton, an LLD from Berlin, and an MD from Michigan.
And a WAX from Johnson.
Yeah. That's when I took a PG course with Harpo Wilcox.
A PG course?
Yeah, peddling glow coat. You see, Guffey, do you mind if I call you Jake?
My name is Elmer.
Honest? Don't he look like a Jake to you, Molly? But as I was saying, Guff...
excuse me a minute.
Sit still, Elmer. Sit still. I'll get it. You got the whole term ahead of you. Come in.
Oh, it's our music instructor, Professor Weems.
Oh, how are you, Weems? What's on your mind? This is our busy day, you know.
One of the pupils just submitted a new school song, and I thought...
Well, I wrote one myself, Professor. It goes like this. Hail to the public school 14. We're loyal to the ever loyal, I ween. Our marks are low, but our spirits are high. Hit that line with mud in your eye. Well, you get the idea. Take it, Ted.
Mr. McGee and Mrs. McGee, if you don't mind, this is the opening day of school, you know.
I see. You want us to get out and let you work, Mr. Guffey.
Well, yes. Excuse me.
You get that call, Guffey. I want to look over the stuff on your desk.
Heavenly days, McGee. Hasn't the man any privacy?
If he wanted privacy, what's he doing in a public school?
Hello? Yes, this is Principal Guffey. Oh, yes, Mr. Mayor, yes. The new budget? Yes, I said I'll be right down. Hello, switchboard. Give me Miss Fiditch in the grammar class. Miss Fiditch? Mr. Guffey, can you take over my office while I go down to the city hall?
Hold it, Guff, hold it. Give me that phone. Hello, Fiditch. Stay where you are, sis. I'll hold the office for Mr. Guffey. Yes. You run along, Guffey. I'll handle things for you.
Yes, but I don't believe
That's the trouble with you, Guffey. You don't believe. In this work, you gotta have faith.
Heavenly days, McGee. You've got no authority to do this.
I got a mandate from my conscience, Molly. Besides, you heard me telling Guffey.
Come in.
How do you do? I am a mother.
Oh, congratulations, sis.
I am the mother of Winifred Whipperman.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Whipperman. Glad to see you. Always glad to meet the mother of all our pupils, or all the mothers of our
What
pupils.
was it you wished, Mrs. Whipperman?
It's about Winifred. The last day of the last term, her cooking teacher told her to go home and make a devil's food cake for her father, and he wants to talk to you about it.
Oh, glad to, sis. Where is her father?
Ward 7, Wistful Vista Hospital.
Make a note of that, Molly. This term, have Winifred Whipperman make her old man an angel food cake. And if he gets any sicker, he'll be prepared for anything. Did you get it, Molly? Angel food, devil's food?
Ain't funny, McGee.
I'll bet it ain't at that. However, if her old man gets real nasty about her cooking, we'll have to teach her how to make cuss custard. You see, Molly, in bringing the teachers and the parents in closer harmony, we get the...
Whoopee! One side there, Skippy. Where's that old fossil Guffey?
Guffey's gone downtown, Grandma. I'm in charge here now. You got any complaints to make about it?
Nary a complaint, Shorty. If you take as much exercise as I do, you don't have any complaints.
You take exercise?
You tell 'em, Panty Waist. My feet ain't what they were, but you can't give an old trick new dogs. Whoopee!
Easy there, Grandma, easy. Who are you, anyhow?
Who, me, Shorty?
Yeah.
Why, I'm Miss Bender, the physical instructor.
Well, what did you want with Guffey, Grandma?
Oh, you just tell that old stuffed shirt to come down to the gym and get some exercise.
Oh.
I'll give the old Airedale a Charlie horse he can enter in the Kentucky Derby. Yippee! Get a load of the cartwheel, Shorty. Whoopee! Woo-hoo!
Somebody must have given that old battle axe a grindstone.
Oh, look here, McGee.
Huh?
Here's a letter from a parent. She says we're giving the children too much homework. What shall I answer?
Tell her that all homework is easier with Johnson's Wax, the easy-to-use polish that makes floors and furniture...
Harpo!
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello, folks. Say, may I be excused from classes tomorrow?
Huh?
I want to start football practice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I heard some of the boys calling you Football Wilcox.
Oh, they think I'm an athlete?
No, they think you're a bag of wind.
Oh, all right.
I ever tell you about Harpo in the algebra class, Molly?
No, what did he do?
Seems that Harpo used to read his sister's love letters, and every time he come to a X in algebra, he thought it meant a kiss.
Yeah.
By the time he finished the term, he was engaged to 5 teachers.
Come in.
Hi, sis. Come right in. Oh, is that your little boy? Manly little fellow, ain't he, Molly?
Indeed he is. What's his name, dearie?
His name's Perry. I'm Mrs. Como.
I'm acting Principal McGee, Mrs. Como. What's the trouble?
Perry doesn't like to study. All he wants to do is to sing.
Oh. What does he want to sing?
The loveliness of you.
Go ahead, Perry.
The beam in your eye, the smile on your face, the touch of your hand, the thrill of your embrace. Darling, even heaven never could replace the loveliness of you. The warmth of your lips, the way that they cling, the sound of your voice, It's like a breath of spring. Darling, what's the theme of every song I ever sing? The loveliness of you. When we're cheek to cheeking, words may fail me, it is true. But unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I'll tell the world all about you. Your charm and your grace, you dance so divine. The story that I know, to know that you are mine, I'd need a million phrases to properly define the heaven above and the loveliness of you.
Good to be back in the old school atmosphere, Molly. Well, things have kind of changed since I got kicked out, or since I graduated. I remember I could lick every kid in my class.
Well, you should have. They were all 10 years younger than you.
I remember when you used to sit right in front of me in school, Molly.
Indeed, I do.
With them little blonde pigtails of yours dangling over my desk. I used to snip off a little hunk of your golden hair almost pretty near every day.
Oh, McGee, really?
Yeah.
Were you that sentimental?
Well, no, I was trying to get enough to pad the knees of my football pants. Shucks, I'll get it, Molly. Hello, Public School 14, Principal McGee speaking. Oh, yes, Mrs. Pike. What? He is? Did the eye doctor say so? Well, after this, he can face the room. Don't mention it, Mrs. Pike. All us teachers is glad to cooperate with the parents in every respect. Hello? Hello? Bad connection.
What's the matter with Mrs. Pike's little boy, McGee?
She says he had to stand in the corner so often last year he got a little wall-eyed.
Come in.
Mr. Guffey, please, sir. Oh, well, hiya, man. How you, boy?
Heavenly day, silly what?
Hi, Sil. Guffey ain't here now. I'm in charge. What's on your mind?
Well, Mr. McGee, please, sir, I'm the janitor here, and I want to put in a petition.
Well, shucks, Sil, you can't put a petition in here.
No, this office is too small as it is.
No, ma'am, Miss McGee, not a petition, please, ma'am, a petition. I got it all wrote out.
Oh, a petition.
Yes, sir. Should I read it to y'all, please, sir?
Go ahead, silly.
Yes, ma'am. It says, to who it going to concern, whereas, whereunto, where do you get that stuff? Be it said to all men. My gal Rosebud, she got a brother what's a lawman.
Oh, well, get to the point, Sil.
Yes. Be it said to all men, whereas Silly Watson, Eskimo.
Eskimo?
What do you mean, Eskimo?
Well, that's what it says, boss. Look, Silly Watson, E-S-Q.
Oh, that means Esquire, silly.
Does it, man? And me with my old clothes on. Yes. Whereas said monthly paycheck for $30 is considered by the correspondent complainant as being insulting.
Why, what's insulting about $30 a month, Sil?
I come to that, please. Whereas said paycheck for $30 ought to say, pay to order of Silly Watson, $30 and no more. Instead of present words would say, he is a big fool for working like a dog all month for $30.
Well, what do you mean, silly? What do your paychecks say now?
Well, they say, Silly Watson, $30 and no cents. I just leave a little old petition on Mr. Guffey's desk, please, folks.
Okay.
I gotta go janitor the geography room.
I'll put Sil's petition in the files here, Molly. Let's see now. What's in this filing case?
Oh, what was that?
Report cards. As I was saying, Molly, if the parents would...
Hello, Cupid. Hello, Fizzer.
Oh.
Are you too busy to be throwing me out?
Oh, Mr. DePopulis.
Hi, Nick. Come on in, get your feet wet. Always glad to meet a parent.
Sure, Fizzer. Parents is always glad to be meeting with teachers also, so they can tell me what I am thinking of you.
Well, have you a child in this school, Mr. DePopulis?
Oh, sure, Cupid. 7 of him. There is little Nicholas Dipopoulos. I am named after him. Demosthenes Dipopoulos, Ulysses Dipopoulos, Spiros Dipopoulos, Diogenes Dipopoulos, Demetrios Dipopoulos, and Ole Olson Dipopoulos.
Heavenly days, Ole Olson Dipopoulos.
You got a stowaway, Nick.
No, Fizzer, no. You see, Ole Olson Dipopoulos is adopting me from orphanages. I'm getting him so my little Dipopoulos are having somebody to play with. You grab me?
Well, can't your children have enough fun among themselves?
Oh, no, Cupid. They are being too tough. Every time one of him is kicking somebody else in his puss, he's getting kicked back again. So they're wanting somebody who they can stick up for each other against. You grab me?
Sounds kind of tough on the Olsen kid, though, Nick.
Oh, no, Fizzer. He's able to take care of myself. Last week, he's biting little Demetrius' ear off in 2 places. I think he's going to be a doctor when I grow up.
Well, we'll see that your children get the best attention in school, Mr. Dipopoulos.
Thank you, Cupid. I'm just wanting to tell you about Spiros.
Oh, yeah.
He's not being so good with arithmetic.
Arithmetic?
Sure. Always, he's adding up too much for what is being right answers. I'm just wanting to tell you, don't tell him any difference. Because he's growing up to work in my cousin Macopoulos' grocery, and my cousin will much rather be having a help which is adding too much than clerks who is making a long division with himself. Well,
You hear that, Mom? If it wasn't for the Olsen boy, them Dipopoulos kids would be all Greek to Nick.
Excuse me, is Mr. Guffey here?
No, he isn't.
Quit stuttering, Bud. What's your name?
Elmo Tanner.
Well, listen, little boy, next time you start to stutter, just whistle.
Sure, I'll try. Will the things I won't do?
Sure, Elmo. Hop to it.
It's a shame to let the rays of the sun injure the finish of your car. Let Johnson's Auto Wax come to the rescue. Protect the paint against heat, cold, and road film. Increase the car's trade-in value. Buy Johnson's Auto Wax and Cleaner from your regular Johnson's Wax dealer, auto supply store, garage, or service station. Don't delay another day. Wax your car the Johnson way.
When's Mr. Guffey coming back, McGee?
Pretty soon. He's going to arrange a meeting of the parents and the teachers, and I'm going to give them a little heart-to-heart talk on cooperation. So I'll get it. Hello? Public School 14. Who? Oh, Jimmy Durante. What? He is? Why, certainly, Mr. Durante. Oh, I think so. Sure. Always glad to cooperate with the parents, Jimmy. You bet.
Heavenly days, is Jimmy Durante's little boy going to school here? And what did he want?
He says his kid's going out for football, and he wanted to know if we could spare an old wastebasket for a nose guard.
What position does he play? Full beak?
No, I think... Come in.
Here, kitty.
Hey, what's the idea, little girl? There's no cat in here.
Oh, I bet you there was, I bet you.
What makes you think so? I says, what gave you that idea?
What idea?
That there was a cat in here.
Gee, is there? Where is he?
Where's who?
The kitty. Here, kitty.
Dad, rat, sis, I tell you there ain't any cat in here. Now go away, we're busy. Huh? Now, we haven't seen any... Listen, sis.
Gee, I bet you're the one, I bet you.
What do you mean I'm the one?
Sure.
Sure, what? Oh, for the... Listen, sis, where'd you get the idea there was a kitten in here in the first place, and what do you mean I'm the one?
Well, gee, I heard my teacher tell another teacher to take a peek in the principal's office and see what the cat dragged in, but you're too big, I bet you.
Now, you see, Molly, there's an example. Now, if that little girl's teacher would go...
What's that? Is school letting out?
No, that's the signal for the meeting of the parents and teachers in the assembly room.
Oh.
Now, come on in and hear my speech, Molly.
All right, but I hope you've rehearsed it.
All right, folks, here I am. I'm glad to see so many of you teachers and parents turning out. Believe me, this is a big day for education in Wistful Vista.
I think so, too, Mr. McGee.
Fine. Now, the first thing I want to tell you parents and teachers is this. We got to cooperate. Teachers have got to work with parents and vice versa. We got to put our best feet forward. Our best feet forward.
Just a minute, Mr. McGee.
Hello there, Guffey. You back again?
Yes, indeed, Mr. McGee. We certainly appreciate the way you've been handling things around here.
Well, now, isn't that nice?
Why, shucks, Guff, old thing. Think nothing of it.
And we've got something to, a sort of a proposition to put to you. Does Mrs. McGee mind waiting outside a minute?
Oh, not at all, folks, not at all. I realize this is a confidential matter. Tell me about it later, dear.
Yeah, I'll show you the medal, Molly. Or maybe it'll be a gold watch. Watch for me outside, Mrs. McGee.
All right.
Now then, parents and teachers. What is it?
Well, McGee, from the way you came in here without even being asked and handled things the way you did...
Oh, sure.
We feel that you deserve every bit of what we're going to give you.
Why, shucks, now you don't have to do anything at all.
We're very happy to do this, McGee. We parents and teachers have decided to follow your suggestion and get together on this.
Oh, well, that's fine, but...
Now, turn around, McGee. Okay. 1, 2, 3!
Oh! Heavenly days, McGee. What happened? Are you hurt?
No, I guess not. Brush me off, Molly.
But what happened? What did they say? What did they do?
Everything I asked them. They got together and put their best foot forward.
And what was their aim?
Perfect.
Linoleum floors are playing a big part in the scheme of modern decoration. Some of the finest new homes and apartments are particularly interesting because of colorful linoleum floors which harmonize with the walls and furniture. If you have any linoleum floors or rugs in your home, be sure to protect them with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat, so they'll always stay beautiful as new. You'll have no floor cleaning problems if your linoleum wears a glow coat polish, for dirt simply cannot stick to the shining surface. Scuffing feet cannot harm the floor. If you've never used Johnson's Glow Coat on your linoleum, we urge you to try this easy-to-use liquid polish right away. Enjoy the pleasure of having beautiful floors with practically no work. Your dealer will tell you that it's very economical to buy Glo-Coat in the larger sizes.
Just the same, Molly, if they'd let me alone, I know I could have worked out a scheme for better cooperation between parents and teachers.
Well, they certainly seem to be behind you, McGee.
And that's the kind of work I'd enjoy doing, too.
Yeah, I noticed you got quite a kick out of it.
Yes, I got quite a kick. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox thanking you for your splendid loyalty to the Johnson Wax Product. Your enthusiasm for these superior wax polishes makes it possible for Fibber McGee and Molly to come to you every Monday night. And join us again next Monday night at this same time, won't you? Till then, good night.
We're on tonight's program where the loveliness of You From You Can't Have Everything, Yours and Mine from Broadway Melody of 1938, and the Jerome Kern number, The Things I Want. This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
If it wasn't for the Johnson Wax Company, we wouldn't have all these Fibber McGee and Molly shows. Fibber McGee and Molly in a broadcast from September 6, 1937. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will have more from Pine Ridge, Arkansas. We had a setup yesterday as to what was going on here with the early part of school, and we will hear what's going on in the beautiful town of Pine Ridge in just a moment. I'm Wyatt Cox. Our final episode of Classic Radio Theater this hour is an episode of Lum and Abner. This episode goes back to September 17th, 1935. It has a little bit to do with the silver mine that Squire Skimp was hauling, but it does have a relation to school, and you'll see why in just a moment. As I said, this episode, September 17th, 1935.
Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. Have you ever had this experience? You walk into a store and you say to the clerk, "A package of Horlicks, please." "All right," says the clerk, "but why Horlicks?" "Try our brand. It's much cheaper and every bit as good. Save your money." Well, that sounds like a good idea at the time. So what do? You buy the imitation. And pretty soon you find out it wasn't such a bargain after all. It has a peculiar flavor, not much quality, and does not give the results you expect from malted milk. So next time you insist on Horlicks, and you get it. So be prepared. If the clerk says, "Try our brand," have your answer ready. Say, "I want Horlicks, and I want what I ask for. Horlicks, the original malted milk." You know, for flavor, quality, and results, Horlicks has no equal anywhere. And now let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, yesterday, some new interest was created in the Great Western Sterling Silver Mining Company, of which Lum is president and general manager, when a stranger arrived in Pine Ridge and purchased 3 shares of stock in the mine. The stockholders now believe that the stranger, Mr. Donahue, must have some inside information about the mine. And as a result, they're all feeling much better about their investment. As we look in on our friends today, we find Abner over at Dick Huddleston's store discussing the matter. Listen.
Yeah, I feel a heap better about the mine now since that feller Donahue's bought some stock in it. Tell by looking at him, he's a pretty smart feller.
Yeah, I can't understand that. A man like that come all the way out here to buy $100 worth of stock.
Why, it must look like a pretty good proposition to him, or he wouldn't have did it.
Yeah, but he didn't ask Lum a thing about the mine till after he'd already bought the stock. No, no. I reckon old Lum just had it sold to him before he knowed it. That Lum is an awful good seller. Well, he didn't have to sell that fellow, though, Abner. He acted like he's all ready to buy it when he got here. Yeah, he did. Just reached down in his pocket and peeled off $100 there. Did you see that roll of bills he was a-packing on him? No, I didn't notice it. Big enough to choke a cow. I bet he's got more money than he knows what to do with. I wanted to see Lum and find out where the fellow's from. Well, I don't think he ever said, but I've just got a notion that he's from Summers out there in Arizona. More likely he saw the mine and knows it's just chock full of silver. That's the reason he wanted to get some stock in it. Well, it seems to me, though, if he figured the mine was that good, why, he'd want to invest more than just $100 in it. He said he had a big roll of money. Yeah, that's right, ain't it? Well, maybe he figured that $100 worth will make him as much as he wants. See, Lum give him 3 shares for $100. Yeah, I know he did. But I believe he'd have paid the regular price, $50 a share for it, Lum just asked him. Well, you know, Lum is just anxious to make a sale so as he could get that $100 to pay Grandpappy Spears back what he'd invested in the company. Yeah, that's pretty nice, old Lum, too. The Grandpapa sure needing it. Yonder comes Lum up out there in front now. Yeah. Look there. He's got on his Sunday suit. He's been wearing it every day, ever since Evelina come back. Hey, him and Evelina's got up quite a case, hasn't he? Oh, I never seen nothing like it. Had Cedric drive a store 3 times by the schoolhouse yesterday and blow the horn so as he could wave to her. Well, howdy, Lum. Come on back.
Gentlemen.
My George, you're going dressed up here lately, aren't you, Lum?
Yeah, I reckon I am a little bit. Considering my position, the old president and all of a big mining company, got to go dressed up.
You're sure that Evelina coming back to town hasn't got anything to do with it?
I knowed you'd say something like it. Swan, did you hear the terrible-handed Joshua feller?
No, that's all right, Lum. I don't blame you one bit. Evelina's a mighty fine girl.
Yeah, she sure is.
Oh, yeah.
Pure gold. Fine a little woman as ever drawed breath, I know. She's a jewel. A jewel. She's went into the county seat with some of the scholars today to help them buy their books. See, school don't open official till tomorrow.
Yeah, Pearl come home yesterday with a long list of books that she's got to buy. Doggett, he'd bankrupt the government trying to keep a young'un in school these days and time.
Well, the more books they got, the more the teacher can learn them, I figure.
Yeah, these young'uns ought to appreciate what their folks are doing for them. They're making lots of sacrifices to send them to school.
Yeah, that's sort of along the lines I'm making my talk on tomorrow, too.
What talk?
Why, Evelina wanted me to make the scholars a little speech in the morning at their school opening exercises, so I told her I'd do it.
That's right. I'm supposed to be down there in the morning, too.
Yeah, all the school board's supposed to be there. And mamas and papas of the scholars, too, of course.
Well, I'd love to go, but I'll be dead blamed if I want to go down there and sit through that speech of yours again, Lum. You give it for the last 10 years.
Well, this is a brand new one, though. Just a while ago wrote it. Sort of a lesson to the scholars, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I've got it here in my pocket.
What's it about, Lum?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing in particular. Covers might not everything, you might say. It's sort of on the order of that, and I give it commencement exercises at the end of school last spring.
Well, sir, now, there's something that I never could understand. Having the commencement exercises at the end of school. Looks to me like you just got it right square backward. Well, let's hear your speech, Lum. I might not get over there in the morning.
Well, I ain't learned it by heart yet. I'll have to sort of read it off.
Oh, my goodness. Is that all speech there that you got, Lum, that stack of papers?
Well, these is my notes. Different subjects I aim to talk on.
Well, if them's just your notes, why, you'll be talking there all day if somebody don't stop you. Yeah, it does look like you got quite a lot there, Lum.
Yeah, well, it just kept coming to me, and I just kept setting them down. First thing I knowed, I read up a whole tablet full of them.
Want to be sure and tell them all you could that one time, huh?
Sure, I don't get to talk to them very often.
No, but when you do, you make up for lost time, I'll say that, Lum. I dog as you can stand and talk longer than every one man I ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah, it never dashes me none to get up in front of no kind of gathering and do out loud talking. Some fellers get up there and sort of catch their breath like a young'un in swimming out of season. Never bothers me none.
No, I'll say it don't. Might bother the audience out there, but it'll never bother you.
Well, go ahead, read it, Lum. Well, starts out here, yeah. Good morning, scholars and friends.
Good morning. Oh, yeah.
The harp strings of memory strike a tender chord as I come back again to the little schoolhouse I love so well, and in which is the scholars whom I love so well.
It's the same old speech. You can't fool me, Lum. I've heard you give it 100 times.
Well, it's sort of like it in spots, yeah, starting out here.
Well, let him go ahead and read it, Abner. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see, where was it? Oh. As I stand up here on this platform this morning and look out over your bright and shiny faces.
This is afternoon, Lum.
This speech is going to be given in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
As I stand up here on this platform this morning and look out over your bright and shiny faces, it brings back fond memories when I was a scholar in dear old Cloverleaf School District number 186.
You ain't fooling me one bit. I've heard all that before, too.
Times has changed since I was a little bar-footed boy sitting out there amongst you, studying my lessons and trying to improve myself. I never dreamt that someday I'd be standing up here on this platform before you as president of the school board to welcome you to this opening day of school. It just goes to show...
Well, it's a small world after all.
Now, how did you know that come in there?
Well, I've heard it enough. I ought to know.
Go ahead, Lum. You're doing fine.
Hey, you can stop anywhere there, and I'll finish it for you.
As you go out into life to grasp the skirts of happy chance.
May your stream of life unruffled run, and the roses bloom without a thorn.
I thought I'd get you there. I've changed that part of it.
Oh.
Think you're smart. Listen to this. As you go out into life to grasp the skirts of happy chance, just recollect that old Eddard saying that honesty is the best policy.
Well, I'll be dead blamed. There's going to be a lot of them just think you forgot your speech right along in there where you changed it, Lum.
Listen to this. Who was the father of our country? Who was it that went and told his father when he cut down the cherry tree and admitted to it?
George Washington.
Abner, will you please hush up till I get done?
Well, that's who it was, wasn't it?
Yes, of course it was.
You ought to give me a head mark on that.
I'm going to give you a head mark here indirectly. This stick of wood laying there on the floor. Now, just hush up.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. Yeah, always be like him, little George Washington. Always be honest and upright in your dealings.
Yeah.
So that when that one great score comes to mark again your name, he writes not whether you won or lost, but how you played the game. I'm proud to say that I owe my success to always being honest and upright with my feller man.
Well, now, you've changed that up some right in through there. Took some out and put some in, sort of like a woman making over an old dress.
I tell you, my young friends, it's a sight of comfort when a man gets up to my age and can turn and look back down the highway of life with its many twists and turns of temptations and tribulations, to know in his own heart that he has wronged not any man. Little do you realize it now, but here in this little schoolhouse you're preparing yourself by building characters that will be strong enough to go out into this world of ours and withstand the many pitfalls of life.
Oh, me.
But remember that old Eddard saying, he who steals my pocketbook steals nothing, but he who steals my good name steals the most precious of all my possessions. And now, before I close...
There comes your friend Donahue up out there.
Huh?
Donahue.
Oh, yeah.
I bet he's coming back to buy some more stock, Lum.
That's about what he wants.
Yeah.
I thought yesterday he appeared to be awfully interested, even after he bought them 3 shares from me. Asked me all sorts of questions about the company.
Well, sell him mine if he'll buy it.
Yeah, sell him.
Oh, come in, sir.
Yeah, how do you do, sir?
Hello there.
Come right in, Mr. Donahue. Proud to see you.
Yeah, here, take my chair, Mr. Donahue.
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you. I want to see Mr. Edwards privately.
Well, these fellers here is both my friends, Mr. Donahue. Anything you've got to say, it's all right in front of them.
Well, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you, Mr. Edwards.
Bad news?
I've stayed over an extra day in hopes that I would find that I was wrong about it, but, well, I'm with the Department of Justice, sent here to investigate the sale of stock in the Great Western Silver Company. I regret that I'm forced to place you under arrest for violation of the Blue Sky laws, the sale of fraudulent stock.
If Lum delivers that address on the subject of honesty and its virtues, it'll have to be through the bars of the Pine Ridge Jail. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you of something. A fine way to help children from getting too hungry or too tired when at school or out playing is to let them carry a supply of Horlicks tablets. Horlicks is made from rich, full cream milk and the finest wheat and barley. Wholesome, nourishing, and energy-giving, Horlicks tablets satisfy without spoiling the youngsters' appetites for regular meals. That's why so many mothers prefer them to sweet, more filling things that are hard to digest. What's more, these tablets are the self-same ones that many athletes, golfers, racing motorists, and others use to keep themselves alert and on the go. So by all means, get some for those youngsters of yours. You have a choice of 2 flavors, you know, either natural or chocolate. Children like them both. This is Carlton Brickert speaking for Lum and Abner and Horlicks, who now bid you all goodbye until tomorrow at this same time.
There you go, Lum and Abner, an episode from September 17th, 1935. Lum may not be on the school board much longer. Lum may not be around much longer. Thank you for joining me for Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox. Join us, classicradio.stream. Have a great day.